book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved.
Jacob have I loved. Now, I don't know about you, but I was raised in a Christian church. Right? I no longer belong in a Christian church. But when I was in a Christian church, they always told me God loves everyone. Right? Here it was written, Jacob have I loved.
But Esau have I hated.
Hey, give us a 1 if y'all can hear us. Give us a 1 if y'all can hear us.
Another group of people that was already here, right? I wouldn't be here if the French didn't come and snatch my ancestors up. French for me specifically, but not for everyone. You know, snatch my ancestors up, bring us over here, and have a hand in the extermination or the attempted extermination of the Native Americans. The Native Americans, a lot of people don't know, are of the 12 tribes of Israel. You know, the tribe of Gad, right? You know, if you read the Bible 4 times, you must know God as a chosen people. Israelites. Made up of 12 tribes. That's one of the tribes. Attempted genocide on God's chosen people is not going to be a good thing. That's all we just read. God said, Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. That's only 2 nations. There are plenty of other nations. He's only talking about 2. Esau or Edom is the ones that primarily carried this out.
Right.
There were other nations that had a hand in it. There were other nations that did other things before Edom. Like the Ishmaelites did a whole lot of bad things. The Egyptians did a whole lot of bad things, but nobody's wickedness has ever trumped Edom. So we're talking about a total. You have that? You got to catch that? Yeah. All right, we're just going to read this one last thing.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 49, verse 23. And kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and their queens thy nursing mothers. They shall bow down to thee with their face towards the earth.
And what?
And lick up the dust of thy feet.
So, as you said, atonement needs to be made. And that's how the Bible says that people would atone for these things. That they would bow down before the Israelites with their face towards the earth. And it says, lick up the dust of thy feet.
That's right.
Would you be willing to do that? No? Right here. Real quick, cameraman too, I'm gonna let you go.
And the Lord shall know that I am the Lord. For thou shall not be ashamed that wait for me.
See? And that's through the Spirit, man. Because I was thinking, when I woke up today, I'm gonna see if I can get a cracker to kiss our Prince, man.
That's right.
And right out the gate, that's how it went.
That's right.
You know, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing when the devil bows down to the gods of the earth, man. How you guys doing today? Doing all right?
What's your nationality? Native American.
Native American, man. Hey, man, we brothers, man.
That's right.
We got the same enemy, man. The white man did us both wrong.
That's right.
All right, brother. What you got going on? What's all that? Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought you were selling something. Looked like Issachar's hustle. Looked like Issachar's hustle. You what's your nationality? White? I mean, any more specific than that? That's all right. You believe in the Bible? You? You Christian? Oh, you got a Bible? That's a New World Translation. Yep, I recognize that one. You Jehovah's Witness? You are Jehovah's Witness. You have a minute? I can talk to you? One of my closest friends is Jehovah's Witness, and I enjoy engaging in scriptural music. What's that? Trying to pay our bills? It's hard to do. Oh, okay. I mean, you frequent this area? I mean, when you're not doing that? I just enjoy the biblical dialogue. I know how it is, man. I know how it is. Jehovah's Witnesses just tend to like to engage. Well, that's okay. Well, since we're rolling, we already got started before the camera was rolling. I'm gonna restart. Go ahead and say I want to give all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. That's all praises to Most High God in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. For the Hebrew Israelites who come out here week in and week out to teach our people, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, their true identity according to the Bible. That is, that we are the nation of Israel, the various 12 tribes. And also to come out here to prophesy the destruction of America, which is biblically Babylon the Great, and to show our people that the white man is the devil the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
Shalom, brother. Go ahead and let's go into Esau, man. Go Job 9 and 24. Because they'll come up and they'll come crouching, they'll act cool sometimes. But at the end of the day, man, they're the wicked.
That's right.
It's not like in the movies where the devil pops up and he's this big 7-foot tall, muscle-bound, red, bright cherry red skinned dude with horns and a tail and all. You're not gonna be that obvious, man. Nobody would ever fall for it. They gotta come humble. It's like that other cracker did, man.
Right.
And he probably thinks that by coming down here and kissing our booth, that he actually made some kind of atonement for something. That ain't gonna save him. That don't make you missile-proof. Go ahead and read.
It's the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked.
So the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, meaning what? The world is controlled by a group of people that are literally the wicked, according to the Bible.
That's right.
And who has the earth in their hands? The so-called white man. You want to be a pilot? You got to speak his language. You can't even get your pilot's license without speaking English.
Right.
Anywhere you go in the world, he's got his hands in something. If it's not his country directly that he took over, then he's pulling the strings some kind of way with embargoes and sanctions and all kinds of stuff. We got all kinds of oil right here in the United States of America, which don't belong to them, which they took. But even after they took it, there's all kinds of oil right here. But we still import all our oil from the Arab countries.
Right.
Why is that? Because the Arabs don't run nothing. The Arab is not Esau. The so-called white man is. Is there more on that?
He covered the faces of the judges thereof.
That's right. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. And who's the ultimate judge? Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, who they painted in the image of the white man. Jesus Christ was not a white man.
That's right.
How you brothers doing, man?
If not, where and who is he?
So if the wicked of the earth who has the earth in his hand is not the so-called white man, where and who is he then? If that's not the way. How you doing, brother? So what's your nationality? African American. See what's up on the sign right here? More than likely to be in the side of the Jews. You ever heard this before? You ever heard that the blacks, Spanish, Native Americans were the Israelites? You heard, you know, there's a group of people that call themselves Jews, right? White guys who have the curls, the side curls, the little hat on top. You believe in the Bible? Jesus Christ.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation.
So this is Christ saying, I know that works and that tribulation. He knows our works and tribulation.
And poverty.
And our poverty. Are they poor? Those people, no, those are the richest people on earth, brother. Black man is poor. The Hispanic man is poor.
That's right.
The Native Indian man is poor. Matter of fact, I'm from the tribe of Levi, right? So most of my people will be found in Haiti. Haiti is the poorest nation in the world.
That's right.
Not them, not Israel. Which is our land that they took. You know?
But thou art rich.
But thou art rich, because the kingdom is promised to you. You know?
And I know the blasphemy
You know, the blasphemy, which is really disgusting lie,
of them which say they are Jews
say they are Jews, but
and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
so Jesus Christ called them the synagogue of Satan. Have you ever heard that Jesus Christ was a black man before? You ever heard that?
The book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 14. His head and his hairs, were white like wool.
So his hair was like wool. Your hair's like wool. My hair's woolly. It's fair. We all got woolly hair up here. Keep going.
As white as snow.
So it was the color white. Go ahead.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Keep going.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
So his feet were like unto fine brass, right? My feet are the same color as the rest of me. I'm assuming your feet are the same color as the rest of you. You know what color brass is? Brown, right?
As if they burned in a furnace.
So now if I took a brown, say like a penny, and I put it in a furnace, take it back out, now it's going to be even darker, right? So it's brass already burned. But this is saying he's very, very dark. As if it burned in a furnace.
And his voice as the sound of many waters.
So meaning his voice is very booming and loud. Something that's kind of a stereotype of African Americans, right? All those people, I hate going to movies with them because they're so loud. They always say stuff like that, right? Well, his voice was very loud. So that's just a quick description. There's other places in the Bible where it gives descriptions of Jews being black. Other places of Christ being black. I think that's Revelation 4. He's about their right? They lie. They lie, right? So let me get this one. Zechariah 9:6. So there's a part of our land, right? Because the inheritance that was given to us was through Abraham. Abraham was promised that your seed is going to inherit the land between the Euphrates and the Nile. That's why they call it the Promised Land. That's the name of the Promised Land, right? There's an area there called Ashdod.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 9 and verse 6. And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod.
This is saying a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod. So a people that's not God's people are going to inhabit this land. This is after we already got, this is way after Joshua. Joshua led us into the land. And this is telling us that a bastard will dwell in this land. And that's what's going on now. You go to our land, you see these people that call themselves Jews. And outside of that, you also see these people that are what we call Arabs. Right? Those are the Ishmaelites. Those are the Ishmaelites. They also come from Abraham. that's not what the promise is. The promise is Judah, Benjamin, Levi on down, right? But as an African American, right? We're not native to this land. How do we get here? By ships. So the way this book starts, from verse 1 down to 14, Moses telling the people, if you keep the commandments, all these blessings are going to come upon you. And then from verse 15 it says, but if you don't keep the commandments, verse 15, we didn't.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So we would not keep all the commandments. All of these curses are going to come upon us and overtake us. We're going to go to the last one because that speaks to what we're talking about.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with...
Hold on. So the Lord's going to bring you into Egypt again. This is Moses speaking now. He just let us out of Egypt. And we were already told we're not going back into the land of Egypt. When we were in Egypt, what was our condition? Slaves, exactly. So he's telling us that we're going back into slavery again. Right.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
This time with ships. See, when we left Egypt, which they just left Egypt, walked out into our land. So this is saying we're going back into Egypt, this time with ships. Now remember, it already said that we wasn't going back into Egypt. Keep reading.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
Meaning what I said before.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
Saying, I already told you we're not going back into that land again. But we are going back into Egypt. But this time with ships. So we're going back into slavery with ships. You know?
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondman and bondwoman.
So we would be sold unto our enemies as slave men and slave women. That's what bondmen and bondwomen are, right? And our enemies that we were sold to were who? The white man, exactly. We have another sign over here, the Table of Nations, that shows that the white man is Edom. That was Jacob's twin brother, Esau, his descendants, right?
And no man shall buy you.
And when it says no man shall buy you, it just said we were going to be sold, but it said no man shall buy you. When you look at this in the Hebrew, the word for buy is actually redeem, meaning nobody's going to come and get you out of it. Because back in the day, you could say if you owed a debt, you could sell yourself into servitude. And let's say you sold yourself into servitude for X amount of time, I could come and be like, oh wait, no, I got it. Here, let me buy him out. And I'll pay the person that you owe, and you'll be free. This is saying nobody's going to do that. People cry. You know, you have people like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, you know, all these, Marcus Garvey, all these people that tried to liberate so-called blacks or Hispanics or Native Americans. Never worked. Never worked. And that's the prophecy. That's not going to work. The only thing that's going to work is that we come back to the law, statutes, and commandments that we broke in the first place.
That's right.
Matter of fact, give me that. Places drawing water. Judges 5:11. Because when we read the prophecies of the Bible, they don't only pertain to what's going to happen to us. There's also prophecies about what's going to happen to the other people. Namely, this nation is going to be destroyed by thermonuclear fire.
Right.
That's. I mean, there's all sorts of verses talking about archers sending arrows across the seas and it being followed with great flames and devouring fires and all that. If you were a prophet that lived 3,000 years ago before there were any missiles, right? You got a vision from God of missiles, but you never heard of it, you never seen it before. That might be how you describe it to your people. Yeah, I saw it looked like an arrow got shot across the ocean. There's all this fire. It's not really an arrow, but it's shaped like an arrow. Like that's how they would describe it, right? So just get that little background.
The book of Judges, chapter 5, verse 11. They that are delivered from the noise of archers.
So they that are delivered from the noise of archers, meaning the explosions that are coming from these After that, how do you get
You can chill for a little bit. I'm waiting on the bus right now.
In the place of drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord.
So it says the place that we will be delivered from, where we will be delivered from the place of the noise of archers, which is the explosions, and the place of drawing water, which is where the slave ships came up. We would rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord. So it's saying, this is prophecy, that here in this land of our captivity, this is where we're going to start getting it right.
Even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of his village.
Meaning we're going to remember the days of old when we were in our land and do what we were supposed to do in the first place.
In Israel, then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gates.
So then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gates, not before. When we come back to rehearsing the righteous acts, that's when we're coming back to the gates, which is the kingdom. I'm sure you've heard that the kingdom of heaven has gates. Now, when we read about those gates in Revelation, we see that there are 12 gates, one for each of the 12 tribes of Israel, which shows that the kingdom's only for Israel. That was the promise. It says back in give me Isaiah 14.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob.
So it says the Lord will have mercy on Jacob,
and will yet choose Israel. And will yet choose Israel.
So because Jacob's name was changed to Israel, when we're talking about this in this sense, Jacob's our name. He's talking about Jacob's descendants, right? So he's going to have mercy on the Israelites. He's going to choose the Israelites. Read on.
And set them in their own land.
And set them in their own land, the land that was promised. Because we never got that full promise. We dwelt in that land, but we never owned all of it at one time. So that's still yet to come.
And the strangers shall be joined with them.
And the strangers will be joined with us, right? How are they going to be joined with us? Keep going.
And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
So they're going to cleave to the house of Jacob, you know?
And the people shall take them.
So look, this says the people are going to take them. Keep going.
And bring them to their place.
We're going to bring them to their place. Keep on.
And the house of Israel shall possess them.
And the house of Israel is going to possess these people, you know?
In the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
For servants and handmaids. So they're not coming into the kingdom with us like we're going into the kingdom. We're inheriting the kingdom. We're going to be kings in that kingdom. They're going to come along too as servants. You know?
And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were.
So the people that had us captive, we're going to take them captive. You know?
And they shall rule over their oppressors.
And we're going to rule over our oppressors. So, you know, your Donald Trumps, your George Bushes, all these guys, they're going to have to come and bow down to us.
That's right.
Bow down to you. They're going to be calling you Lord. How does that make you feel? It's a good thing, right? God loves you, man. He loves you. But we have a responsibility. We have to do what he said. There are over 600 laws in the Bible. A lot of people think there's only 10 commandments. The 10 commandments were notable, but they're not the only commandments. We got to stop, you know, doing a lot of things that we're doing. I mean, things as simple as wearing mixed fabric clothing and shaving our beards. Things as big as not murdering each other and selling each other drugs. From beginning to end, everything he said do, we got to do. Everything he said don't do, we can't do.
That's right.
Can't do it. And a lot of people will say that, you know, Christ came and changed those things, but he didn't. Christ was prophesied in the Torah before he ever came to, you know, to us on earth. And it was told what he was going to do. And that's exactly what he did. When he came, he said he doesn't come speaking his own words, he comes speaking the words of the Father.
Right.
The words of the Father are what we read in the book. Everything that he said, we can go back to what they call the New Testament. We can go back to what they call the Old Testament and see it. See it there. Before he was born from Mary and Joseph, right? And, yeah, go ahead and bring that up.
The book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 27. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessel of a potter shall they be broken to shivers.
So it says he's gonna, when it's talking about he, it's talking about what the world calls Jesus Christ. The Hebrew name is Yahweh. And he's gonna rule them with a rod of iron. And like the pot, he's gonna break them into shivers.
That's right.
That's not him coming back with hugs and kisses for everybody. He's gonna be coming back with wasting people.
That's right.
That's why he said that I come not to bring peace but a sword.
That's right.
He's coming back here to topple all these other nations and set us up. He's going to be king over us, and we're going to rule over everybody else.
Even as I received of my Father.
Yeah, even as he received of his Father, because the Most High God is the one that set him up in the first place. You know, Matthew 5.
Book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 18. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass.
So heaven and earth pass. Still on earth. Heavens are still above us. Read on.
One jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law.
So not a single part of the law, not even the smallest bit of it, is going away. We got to keep it all. That's red letter. Mashiach Yahushua, the word of Jesus Christ, his words. He kept the law perfectly, and he was our example. We have to keep the law perfectly. Does that mean that nobody's going to make a mistake? No. But that's where grace and mercy comes from.
That's right.
Now, when I was growing up in the Christian church, they told me grace and mercy, and that's all there was. But how am I supposed to receive grace and mercy if I'm just habitually doing the same thing wrong? Like, if okay, let's say I bumped into you, and you were like, all right, I'm gonna let that go. But then I bump into you again. And then I bump into you again. And then I bump into you again. Eventually you're gonna hit me back, right? It's the same thing.
Right.
I can't keep spitting in the face of my God and expect him to just save me. He told me what to do. He told me what's expected of me. This book in everybody's house. And if it's not in your house, it's your grandmother's house, or your auntie's house, or the hotel you stayed in. Every hotel I've been in has got a Bible in it. The problem is we don't read it. A lot of us don't know that we actually have to still do these things. A lot of us don't know that it's actually a bad thing to eat pork. Not just because God said don't eat pork or shrimp or lobster or whatever other abominable foods people like to eat. But that actually hurts us. That actually damages our body.
That's right.
The same thing with smoking or doing other drugs, shooting up, snorting, whatever. All that damages. Right? I was just talking to a brother across the street about smoking. He said, you know, he saw us with the fringes on and everything, which is another law we're supposed to put these on our clothes. He saw us with the fringes on. He goes, "Oh, you guys are Israelites." And I said, "Yeah, so are you." He goes, "Yeah, I know. I've been learning." And he had a pack of cigarettes sticking out of his pocket. I'm like, "But you know, you got to give that up." He goes, "I know." Okay. And then everything's not gonna happen all at once, and I understand. But I would be remiss not to tell my brother that he's poisonous. People know cigarettes are bad for them, but it's normal enough that people don't really think about it. You know, same thing with eating pork. If I put dog meat on your plate and said, "Here, eat this," you probably wouldn't eat it, right? I look at pork the same way. You're not supposed to eat dogs. We're not supposed to eat pork. I'm not eating no aborted babies. I'm not doing none of that, right? Cows, chow down. Lamb, have a ball, eat it. You know. Chicken good too. I love chicken.
Thank God. I was like, I don't even eat beef or pork, but like, I eat chicken.
No, chicken's good, man. Chicken's good.
Till all be fulfilled.
So I say till all be fulfilled. So that's all being fulfilled. But every Christian I've ever met say they expect them to come back. There's still prophecies that haven't been fulfilled. Right. So all is not fulfilled. So we still have to strive and try to keep these laws to the best of our ability.
That's right.
And that's what's going to lift us up as a people. Because if I know that it's not okay to sell my people drugs, and I stop selling my people drugs, and that spreads, the next man's going to stop selling drugs. The next man's going to stop selling drugs. Next thing you know, there's going to be no more dope dealers. At least not of our people. And the same thing with using. If I know I'm not supposed to be taking these poisons into my body and abusing drugs, and that spreads, less more people are going to be doing these things. If we stop murdering each other, stop sleeping with each other's wives, right? Stop, backbiting each other and just treat each other like we would want to be treated ourselves. We'll be much better off. We are our own worst enemies. More often than not. Yeah, the white man's putting us in this situation, but he's leaving us. It's like, you ever heard the expression of crabs in a barrel? If you've ever seen crabs get put in a barrel, they're all trying to get out, but they won't let the other one get out before them.
That's right.
So one's about to get out, another crab's going to pull him down and try to pull himself up, rather than getting out and trying to help the one behind him.
That's right.
And that's how we've been operated, because that's how we've been trained for the last 400 plus years. We've been destroyed as a people, mentally and spiritually. So, what's your name, brother? What's it? Naeem? Ayathan. Nice to meet you. So all this information has been new to you? You never heard none of this before? What do you belong to any kind of church or anything like that? Just kind of just believe just based on what you were told? I understand. I was like that too.
Verse 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so.
So anybody who breaks one of the commandments that they feel like is even a small thing, like, this one's not that big a deal. I'm gonna just go ahead and do what I want in this one. Or somebody who teaches people so, like, yeah, it says that, but you don't gotta listen to that whole thing. What happens?
He shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
Now the whole goal of attaining the kingdom is that we be put on high. We've been on the bottom all this time. We're not trying to be the least in the next war too.
But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
So if you do keep the commandments and teach your people to keep the commandments, you're going to be called great.
That's right.
I almost forgot one of my favorite parts. Get Obadiah. Get Obadiah.
The book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire.
So what happened after King Solomon was our kingdom was split into two. This is talking about the southern kingdom, which is the Levites, right? Judah, Levi, that was part of the southern kingdom. The northern kingdom broke off. That was what you would call the Native Americans, the Hispanics. So those are our brothers too. We're operating like two different kingdoms. This is talking about the reconciliation of the kingdom. Go ahead.
And the house of Joseph a flame.
So the house of Joseph a flame. It's calling us combined, a fire and a flame. This is coming back together. We're going to be fervent, right? Keep going.
And the house of Esau for stubble.
The house of Esau, that's the so-called white man. It says they're going to be like stubble. What happens when you get stubble close to the fire? Burns up. Keep going.
And they shall kindle them, and they shall kindle in them and devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it.
So after we bring them into slavery, now we're taking all the nations into slavery, but specifically speaking about the white man, Esau. After we take them into slavery, he says we're to just kindling them like a fire, and they were stubble, and there's not going to be any remaining of the house of Esau.
That's right.
God promised absolute utter destruction to the white man. And that's the future that we didn't know. And that's what they did to us.
That's right.
You know, they did everything they could to try to destroy us. But we were stronger than them, faster than them, we can outthink them. But there's the way they move systematically while we were splintered is what allowed them to get over. So while they got over,
This is Psalm 137, verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem. You said, raise it, raise it.
now raise it. It's not R-A-I-S. So they're saying destroy it. This is what they were chanting. We were getting messed up. Go ahead.
Raise it, even to the foundation thereof.
I mean, destroy it, deep down to the foundation.
Right.
Destroy it. That's what they wanted to happen to us.
O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed.
This is the daughter of Babylon, America.
Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us.
So happy shall he be, meaning we're going to be happy to reward them the same way they served us. How did they serve us?
Happy shall he be that taketh dashing out the against the stones.
That's right.
So they took our babies. This is recorded in what's his name? Christopher Columbus's diary. He would take the babies by the ankle and smash them up against stones to kill them. The Bible says we're going to do the same thing to them. Men, women, children, they're all going to be killed. They used to they would find our pregnant women. Okay. Hey, well, it's good talking to you, brother. Hey, no problem, man. You got our information. My number and this brother's number is on the back of that, so feel free to hit us up anytime. We're out here every Wednesday around 4 o'clock.
Take care.
Shalom, brother. With God in this earth, man. God loves you. How you doing, brother? Hey, God bless you, brother. God bless you. Got it on that? Let's move up a little bit. We're kind of far away from the camera. We want to make sure everybody can hear. Man, you missed it. You got the suitcase now? Gotta be on time, brother. You gotta be on time. So, let me get Psalm 73 and 12. Get Psalm 37 and 35.
The book of Psalm, chapter 73, and verse 12. Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world.
So it says, behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. So who prospers in the world? The so-called white man.
That's right.
That's who prospers in the world, more than anybody else. And if you want to get a little piece of that, you're going to have to bend down for him.
That's right.
The men of the Lord ain't doing that. Is that it on that?
They increase in riches.
They increase in riches. How do they increase in riches? By raping, robbing, and murdering.
That's right.
Everywhere they go. There's not a single place on the face of the earth that white people inhabit and have taken over that they haven't committed genocide on.
That's
that
right.
They haven't committed mass murder on. That they haven't committed mass rape on. Stolen everything.
That's right.
Never earned a damn thing. Is that it?
That's it.
Psalm 37, 35. I have seen the wicked in great power.
So he says he has seen the wicked in great power. Who's in great power, like we just read about? The so-called white man, as the Bible calls him Esau. Edom. Get on?
Spreading himself like a green bay tree.
And spreading himself like the green bay tree. If you've ever seen a green bay tree, its branches reach out and extend very long, which is what we were just talking about. He just spreads himself out, goes wherever he can find anything, and takes it. How you doing, sister? All right. everybody on earth, every nation that God created, he gave it a lot of land.
Right.
How you doing, brother? All right, man? You're doing better if you give up that smoking, though.
Hey, never.
You got you, man. God gave you that body. It don't belong to you.
Right.
Talking about never, man. You see how quick our people are to hold on to wickedness and evil? That smoke is killing him. It ain't killing me. I'm trying to help him out by letting him know, hey, man, you got to give that up. He said never. Our people are destroyed. People are destroyed. Psalm 94. That's not the first brother we talked to about smoking today, man.
That's right. It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 14, verse 5. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good?
He that is evil to himself, he that inhales smoke into his lungs,
Right.
and that actively gives himself cancer, he that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good?
He shall not take pleasure in his goods.
Yeah, he shall not take pleasure in his goods, man. Because we have to do what we have to do. We have to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments and do what the Most High God told us to do in order to get these goods that we were promised.
That's right.
And it said that if we don't keep these commandments, we'll be the least in the kingdom. You're not going to enjoy nothing if you're the least.
That's right.
Got that?
This is Sirach 32:17. Consider that I have labored not for myself only, but for all them that seek learning. Sirach 32:17. A sinful man will not be reproved.
A sinful man will not be reproved.
That's right.
What's one of these sins that we talked about? Smoking cigarettes, defiling your temple, burning strange fire. You know?
Will find an excuse according to his will.
But he will find an excuse according to his will. Oh man, you know I'm trying, but it's hard to kick. Or he didn't even come up with an excuse. He just said, I never. He just outright said to hell with whatever y'all talking about. You got something? How you doing, man?
How are you?
All right. Can I ask you a question? What's your nationality, miss?
I'm a big mix of a bunch of stuff.
Big mix. What's your dad?
Big mix. I just did a DNA test. I'm like a million things. I'm a big, mix.
All right.
Thanks.
Well, go ahead.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 3, and verse 16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God,
So don't you know that you are the temple of God? Read on.
and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you?
That's where the Spirit of God is dwelling.
If any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy.
That's right. Him shall God destroy. Your body is the temple of God, and His Spirit dwells within you.
That's right.
What if I came to your house and smoked out the inside of it? You'd be choking and coughing and dying.
That's right.
Would that be a nice thing to do to you? Hell no. Why would you want to fill the temple of God with smoke? You think He's going to stay with you? What would you do? You would get up out that house, right?
That's right.
And then you wonder why bad things happen to you. And I just think it's so funny and comical that every time we ask a white person what the hell they are, they always say, oh, I'm a big mix. How does a big mix of people. You just all these different things, and you got nothing but recessive genes. That's not how recessive genes work.
Right.
Dominant genes take hold. If I have a baby with a white woman, guess what that baby is going to look like? Me, not her.
God.
99 times out of 100. So all you people, y'all liars, man. And the devil is a goddamn liar.
Right.
And the white man is the devil the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
And we gonna come out here week in and week out and drill this in y'all heads until y'all finally get it. And separate from these damn heathens, man.
For the temple of God is holy, which temple ye are.
For the temple of God is holy, which temple ye are. What does the word holy mean in the Hebrew? It's the word quadash. It means separate. Not like everybody else. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are better than everybody else.
That's right.
This is Psalm 94, verse 3. Lord, how long shall the wicked triumph?
How long shall the wicked triumph? This is his plea unto the Most High God. How long are they going to be on top? You know?
How long shall they utter and speak hard things, and all the workers of iniquity boast themselves?
So how long are they going to keep talking this trash, man? How long are they going to be able to keep looking down on us and stepping on us and spitting on us?
Right.
You know?
They break in pieces thy people, O Lord, and afflict thy inheritance.
They break in pieces thy people, meaning they're destroying the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Go ahead.
They slay the widow.
They slay the widows. They kill our men and then kill the women too. How you doing, brother? How you doing, sir? What's your nationality, brother?
As far as Israelites, yeah, we're all
That's right. That's
we're all bred. You know what? They fucking say these white boys. Fuck no. Read the Bible. Read the Bible. His hair.
That's right. That's Revelation 1 and 14.
So I respect that. I'm gonna support you.
That's right. We support you, brother. We appreciate you coming down here.
No, don't worry about it. Don't find it. I believe in what you guys are teaching. There's too many people that fucking listen to this because they're so stuck in they're stuck in how we were raised and how there was teach.
That's why the scripture says we got to be born again. Forget how we was raised. Be new.
Exactly.
Yep. You got that? Bring it up.
You know what? You guys are welcome.
Appreciate that, brother. Thank you.
And if anybody says that you're not welcome here, just talk to me and I'll do it.
I will. Well, so far, all the Native Americans that have come up are very brotherly and respectful and loving. It's been an honor to be down. Welcome back.
I'm wondering, watch them.
That's good. We got to be like them. The Bible tells us to use our brains. And God gave us our brains for a reason.
This is Matthew 18, verse Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child,
Humble himself as this little child, go on.
the same is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven.
So the kingdom to come, that same man is going to be the greatest.
Right.
So humility comes first.
I see, honestly.
Fingers.
Like, yo, I'm seeing
Try to come out here. But nothing but truth is sincere.
That's right.
If we didn't believe this, we wouldn't be out here.
and I support you.
This is Lamentations, chapter 5, verse 1. Remember, O Lord, what has come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach. Our inheritance is turned to strangers.
That means those other people that took our land don't belong. Right. Those white boys with the side throws and little funny hats, those are strangers. And they took our inheritance. You know?
Our houses to aliens.
Our houses to aliens. You know? They talk about our people, you know, Hispanics, Native Americans, Black people.
It's like you don't see it.
Exactly. They call us aliens. But it's ridiculous. First of all, Native Americans were here before anybody else was here. So how can you
Right.
be? How you doing, brother?
Verse 3. We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows. We have drunken our water for money. Our wood is sold unto us. Our necks are under persecution. We labor and have no rest. We have given the hand to the Egyptians and to the Assyrians to be satisfied with bread.
So they took our land, they took everything that belongs to us, and they sold it back to us. Talk about the white people.
That's where the Fortune 500 company, that Johnson and Johnson bullshit. Hey, you know what? Chop, 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 chop.
Step back to the camera. I'm sorry, let's get that little bit to go. Yeah, we live right now. We live right now.
But you know what? I respect that.
So I can see
Camera. That's right,
on the street right there, you know what I mean, right? Black house, they got it. I remember what's up with Black house. Slave ships right there. The cargo ships.
Messiah is how you say Isaiah in the Hebrew. The name Jesus that's recorded in the Bible is actually an anglicization of the word Joshua. Joshua in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the name of the Father. Yahweh Shai is the name of the Son. That's how we speak it in the Hebrew. Actually, right here, you got the same one? See, look, that says Yahweh right there. That's the Yah, the Ha, Yah. That's like the YHWH in the Hebrew, right? Now down here is Yahweh Shai's name. So that's the Yah, the Ha, the Wah, the Shah, and the I. So that's Yahweh Shai. Right here is my Shah. This means that.
Okay, yeah, I was like, is that a bee?
Absolutely. That's Yahweh. That's the name of the Most High God. That's the name. Bahasha means in the name. Yahweh Shai, which is what we say in English, Jesus. Right? What? Oh, you're talking about the Ruach. In modern Hebrew, they say the Ruach, but there's no Ruach. So the Ruach, that's the spirit. So they say Ruach, right? Kodash is the Holy One. Genesis 37. Well, Jerusalem is in what used to be the land of Canaan. When we took it, it became the land of Israel because we are Israel.
And Jacob dwelled. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 37, verse 1. And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan.
So Jacob was our forefather. And his father, Isaac, said he dwelled in the land of Canaan where he was a stranger. So Jacob dwelled there as well.
That's right.
And Jacob had his 12 sons. Eventually, his son Joseph was sold into slavery into Egypt. That's where our journey in Egypt starts. You're talking about where it talks about the so-called fallen angels, right?
Yeah, fallen angels. They were bound after the flood.
Let me show you something. There's a very common misconception, right?
It's in Zechariah.
Well, if you can just come up here.
It's in Zechariah. We're talking about angels,
From the top.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 6, verse 1.
Exactly.
And it come to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth.
So when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, read on.
And daughters were born unto them.
And daughters were born unto them, read on.
That went through angels.
Well, hold on, guys, hold on. I want the sister to get this. This is our question, right?
And the sons of God saw the daughters of men.
So now when you see the sons of God, so the daughters of men, a lot of people will say that that was angels looking down on earth and seeing women. This is not the case. Well, but listen, this is not the case, right? Okay, watch this, right? Adam was called the son of God, was he not?
Yeah.
So we'll get to that in a minute. Just hold on a second. So Adam being the son of God, and he has a chosen line, right? He had Cain and Abel. Cain slew Abel. After Cain slew Abel, they had Seth. So the chosen line went through Seth. Cain also went off to marry and have children and all this. They populate the earth. And there were other people around as well. But the sons of God are the chosen line from Adam. You gotta have order. get the 20 sons of God. The word Israel means prince of the power, which is another way to say son of God. Right? So these sons of God were of the chosen line. These daughters of men were strange women.
That they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose.
So these men saw these women and thought these women were beautiful. We're going to take wives of all these other women.
That's where the exile is.
And this is way before Paul. But if you guys could please just give me a little bit of space. Just a little bit of space. No, you go right there.
And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man.
So here we're seeing that the Most High God is angry with man. He said, my spirit shall not always strive with man. Read on.
For that he also is flesh.
He also is flesh. This is not talking about angels. It's talking about flesh. Read on.
Yet his days shall be 120 years.
So at this point, he cut our lifespan short to 120 years. Where people were able to live up to be about 1,000. Now we can only live to be about 120.
That's after Moses. That's
Basically,
after
yes.
Moses.
This is before Moses. This is long before Moses. Keep going.
There were giants in the earth in those days.
That's Genesis right there.
This is Genesis, yes. So now, when it's talking about these giants, right? It's not talking about 400-foot tall beings. We're talking about, somebody's large, right? If I say somebody's large and in charge, that don't mean he's necessarily tall. It just means that these people are prominent.
God is large in charge, right?
Yeah, well, Goliath wasn't right.
And also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of man, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men.
That's how we came.
So, and that's what it's talking about. These people were mighty men, right? So now, hold on, brother, hold on. 1 Corinthians 15 and 4. 1 Corinthians 15 and 4. You know what? Get 15 and 39. We're going to read this. Make sure you read it loud.
1 Corinthians 15 and 39.
All right, let's not talk over the word of God. That's right.
All flesh is not the same flesh.
So all flesh is not the same flesh. Read on.
But there is one kind of flesh of men.
One kind of men.
Another flesh of beasts.
Another of beasts.
Another of fishes.
Another of fishes.
And another of birds.
Another of birds. Go on.
There are also celestial bodies.
Celestial bodies, that's the heavenly bodies.
Right here.
And bodies terrestrial.
Bodies terrestrial, that's us and everything on earth.
Just like you.
Okay, so hold on. So the same way, this just said that all flesh is not the same. So the same way that I cannot impregnate a fish, an angel cannot impregnate a fish.
That's right.
God is.
God is real. God is.
Listen, man, my question to him.
Come back on the side. So real quick, before you ask a question, did that make sense to you, sister? Okay, so what we're reading about in Genesis, in chapter 6, we see that God is angry with men, and he sends the flood, to destroy these men. Oh, okay, that's true. Yeah. Did you have any questions?
That is the brimstone.
That is
That is the brimstone.
Excellent question. Give me Genesis 33 and Genesis. Oh wait, no, Deuteronomy 33. Give me Genesis 49.
Deuteronomy 33 is the brimstone. Brimstone was
Before we get to that, we're dealing with the sister's question about the child.
Home right there.
Deuteronomy 33 is where we get the blessings. Genesis 49 is about the prophecies of the end times, right? Give me Zebulun. Give me Zebulun. haven of ships. Haven of ships.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 13. Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea.
So Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea. This is what the prophecy is saying about Zebulun, right? Now we look, because I have some maps in here, right? Now if we look for Zebulun, sorry, it's kind of dark, but all right, Zebulun's right here. That purple one right there, that's landlocked, right? So all around it, that's Israel. So he's not in the haven of the sea, right? So this is not talking about when we got our land. Zebulun's in purple. All right, so right here we got Naphtali, we got Asher, we got Manasseh, we got Issachar. So he's surrounded by his brothers. There's no haven of the sea there.
You understand? He was baptized.
I'm gonna break baptized. If you don't shut up, I'm not gonna do it.
Baptized.
We don't need no violence, brother. We don't need no violence, brother. We don't need no violence, brother. We all brothers and sisters up here. We're one nation. You know, having that fire is good, but let's direct that at our enemies, not on each other. All right. So showing that Zebulun is going to be a haven of ships dwelling in the sea. Read on.
And he shall be for a haven of ships.
And it shall be for a haven of ships. So this is one of the prophecies that goes into how we know that Zebulun was going to be dwelling someplace else, right? And if we look at Zebulun, where's that? Guatemala to Panama, right? You heard of the Panama Canal, right? That is a major haven of ships. And it's not just limited to that, right? We got, if you don't mind me asking, what is your nationality? Like, if you were to accept the charge, where would you be? You'd be Judah, right? Okay. Me, myself, I'd be Levi. This brother would be Issachar, right? African American? More than likely Judah. Okay. Just like the Messiah. Or Gad, actually. Gad, the tribe of Gad, right there. Tribe of Judah, just like the Messiah. Yes.
And his borders shall be unto Zidon.
So read that last part again.
And his border shall be unto Zidon.
So his border shall be unto Zidon. Have you heard of the Olmecs? Never heard of the Olmecs?
Basically, it's one saying is that we're all equal. We're number one. We're equal. We're all made the same. That's Zion.
You told me to show you another way, guys. They trying to show you more.
You never seen those
These big statues.
Those are in South America.
Now those statues are not statues of Israelites. Those statues are statues of Canaanite merchants that used to come and take things back. Because when you read Solomon, come to Solomon had a covenant. Solomon had a covenant with the Canaanites where they would sail together to come over here and bring brothers. You guys gotta let me talk. Sister, man. All right. Please. So, all right. Hold on. Let me answer this question. So they would sail over and bring things back. People knew about the Americas for a long time. This one didn't discover anything. Right? So, let me, yeah, actually, there's a lot of documentaries that talk about it. They'll dig up these mummies in Egypt and find cocaine residue in their nostrils. The coca plant only exists over here in the Americas. It's not indigenous to them. So that proves that people were coming over here and taking this, right?
Writing on the wall with chocolate too.
Chocolate too. Yeah. Give me Hosea 12:7, and you give me Ezekiel 28:2. This is going to go into the Omer a little bit. The end times is nothing. Exactly.
This is Hosea 12:7. He is a virgin.
So he is a virgin.
The malices of deceit are in his hand.
merchant in that verse in the Hebrew, it's the exact same word for the name Canaan. It's not the regular word for merchant. So that shows that Canaan and merchant were synonymous because that's what they were known to do. But they were also known to have, like bad practices, like, having unbalanced scales and stuff like that to sell you something at a higher cost.
That's why.
And they was coming over here to do that. All right, guys, hold on. You got Ezekiel 28? Yes.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 28, verse 2. Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus,
Yes.
thus saith the Lord God,
So the prince of Tyrus is the prince of Canaan, right? Thus saith the Lord God.
because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God.
So he was saying he's a God, right? Go on.
I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the sea. Yet thou art a man and not God.
So he's boasting all this, but he's just a man. He's not God. We know him.
Though thou set thine heart as the heart of God, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel.
So he had a lot of wisdom. But he was puffed up, right? You know?
There is no secret that they can hide from thee.
All right, hold on, brother. We gotta let the sister get it.
The book of Job.
Even if you already know where I'm going, whether or not you know where I'm going, she don't know where I'm going yet. So I gotta show my sister. You're asking me a question. Brother.
Simple answer. Put yourself in the place of God.
Guys, we need order, man. This sort of thing will be happening in the white man's church. Right?
That's right.
Because right now, what's going on is very disrespectful to us. And
I'm sorry,
right?
but I'm just saying the book of Job.
First Corinthians 14 and 40. Let all things be done decently and in order.
So let all things be done decently in order. If you got something to say, brother, we'll address it. But right now, she has something to say. We address her right now.
Listen.
No. This is in order. We're not speaking over the Bible. We got readers and we have somebody to bring it out just like we was reading in the days of old, right? You keep going.
With thy wisdom and thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches.
So with thy wisdom and understanding, you'll become very rich. That's what he said in the King of Tyrus. All right, brother. All right. Hold on.
And hast gotten gold and silver unto thy treasure. By the great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches.
Skip down to verse. What verse? Just skip to 7.
Verse 7. Behold, therefore, I will bring strangers upon thee, and terrible of the nations, and thou shalt draw thy swords against the beauty of thy wisdom.
So he's talking about the downfall of them, right? Keep going.
And thou shalt defile thy brightness. They shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the deaths of them that are slain in the midst of the sea.
And they died the deaths of them that were slain in the midst of the sea, because over here in the Americas, they were fighting, and they were seafaring people, their bodies across the sea, right? I don't want to harp on Zebulun too much because Zebulun's not even up here right now. We got Judah, we got Levi, we got Gad. We can go into matter of fact, give me that second Ezra. You know what I'm going to say? Our slave. While he's getting that, get me Ecclesiastes 33.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 33, verse 3. A man of understanding trusteth in the law.
So a man of understanding trusteth in the law, right? What's the law? Behold the book of the law, right? So when we read in Genesis 49, the prophecies of the tribes,
law is faithful unto him as an oracle.
So the law is faithful unto him as an oracle. So all these things, they're definitely going to come to pass. They have to happen. So when it says that, you know, instruments of cruelty are in the habitation of Levi and Simeon, talking about the sensory and the voodoo that's associated with our island. That's right. That's what that is. When it talks about Judah being in the neck of his enemies, you right here in the belly of the beast, right here what you saw. You know, when Zebulun's a haven of ships, we know about the Panama Canal and all that stuff. You know, and it even goes deeper than that, right? When we talk about, say, the Mexicans, right? The word Aztec, or Azteca, which is what they're called before, is actually a Hebrew compound word. Az meaning pertaining to time, and Teca meaning people. And the Issacharite's lesson was to be able to read the signs of heaven and be able to know the times. And that's what the Aztecs are even famous for, is creating, and the Mayans creating these calendars, right? And how they got here is actually recorded in the book of 2nd Ezra, which Christopher Columbus talks about in his own diaries. He said he read Ezra and thought that if he came over to this side of the world, he would find the lost, hold on, just leave the sign where it's at. He would find these people, which is why he came over here with Hebrew translators. So let's see what he read. All right, hold on, brother. Good?
This is 2nd Esdras, 13 and 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoner out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king.
So when we were split as a kingdom, northern kingdom and southern kingdom, the majority of the tribes were with the northern kingdom. So this is what happened with them when they were taken into the Assyrian captivity. You know?
Whom Salmanasar, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land.
So that's the king of Assyria carrying them to Assyria. From the northern parts of Ireland. Go ahead.
But they took this counsel among themselves.
But they took this counsel among themselves, because remember the northern kingdom had given up on serving Yahweh. They had served idols. Hold on, brother.
The Israelites, Egyptians, that's the council that they're talking about.
The council is to keep our statutes.
But you know what? We believed in ourselves, and that's
they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen.
So we're going to leave the multitude of the heathen, read on,
and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
Where never mankind dwelt. Now, when we're talking about that, you know, the
you're
land
talking
that we call
about,
Africa,
you're talking about Moses.
Moses. Right? Read on.
Verse 42, that they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land.
So they might there keep their statutes, which they have never kept in their own land. That's why when we look at the archaeology and the history in the Americas, we see Native Americans wearing fringes. We hear the songs that they sing when you have a baby. The eating of clean beasts like the buffalo and deer and things like that.
It's just like the golden calf. That's why it's not what buffalo. What is the golden calf?
Wait, buffaloes are clean, right?
Buffaloes are
golden
clean.
calf is an idol.
It's a divided wood. They have to be.
You know what? That's
what you the cut. Yeah, brother. Please, brother, please. The sister cannot hear. She's asking me direct questions. I'm trying to answer her question. Right? I mean, that's why they say we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, right?
That's right. That's how God made it.
That's right. So we should listen twice as much as we speak. That's right. So, all right, brother. Thank you. Keep going.
They entered into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river, where the Most High then shewed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over.
So holding still the flood means that he made the journey safer. Because we have the Atlantic Ocean. Because we have the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean.
You ever heard of
the
Babel?
reason that it's called the Pacific Ocean is because it's past brothers, please.
It's Babel.
All right, but y'all both talking. We're not talking about Babel.
That's where
we're not talking about Babel, brother.
That's where
if you would listen, you would know we're not talking about Babel.
That's where the lions meet. Babel.
So the Pacific Ocean is called the Pacific because it's passive. There's not a lot of waves there. The Atlantic Ocean is very choppy and violent. But the Most High God made the passage sake. He held still the flood, meaning it wasn't a violent trip, right? Go ahead.
For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half.
Maybe a year and a half. That's important.
And the same region is called Aseret.
The same reason it's called Arsmus. So that's what they called this part of the world before the Amerigo Vespucci was ever born. Because this is named after an Italian man, Amerigo Vespucci.
Area.
So you got one about the 3-year journeys? I'm trying to find that. Yeah, go ahead and finish that up.
It says 46. Then dwelt they there until the latter time. And now when they shall begin to come
Together.
So yeah, that's why they sailed over here. And that's the prophecy, right? Because when we got to the west coast of Africa, as Judites, as Levites, as Benjamin, not Benjamin here, but as Benjaminites, you know, we left from our own land to go there. This is following 70 AD in the desolation that happened, right? So we fled over there to deal among the Canaanites that lived there, and they sold us to the white man, which is also prophecy. So the same way that we know that we're Israelites, there's actually even more information. There's actually even more information proving that these brothers are Israelites as well.
We're all
and even more specifics. So that's where that's at. Now I'm trying to find something for you to show, because he said that this journey was a year and a half. And I can't recall it to memory right now. I'm looking for you.
But you know what the year and a half is? You ever hear of matcha? You ever hear of matcha?
Stay in order, brother.
No,
if you're not
matcha.
If you're not going to stay in order, brother, I'm going to have to ask you
what Moses said to his people was matcha. That's a year and a half.
Do you want the sister to learn? Would you like for her to learn?
Yes.
Or we're trying to bring it out for her. We're trying to bring it out for her. Oh, second is
13, 40.
Second is 13 and 4.
Oh, snap.
Oh, women. Oh, okay. No, we all work. That's correct. That's correct. Now, a lot of people will teach that women are not allowed to wear pants, right? We're not under that school of thought. You got that? What's that? Deuteronomy?
That's why I got
Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
So they'll take that and say, a woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, and they'll say that pants pertain to men. But when we're reading about the people that we're reading about in these scriptures, none of them wore pants. We all had long garments, right? We didn't start wearing pants until much later. They'll try to say the linen priestess was pants, but that's really just underwear.
That's why I'm saying,
right? So another thing is, right? Watch, I'm gonna show you this on the app. So a woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man. I'm gonna go to the Hebrew word for man. It should be ayash if it's talking about just men. That's the Hebrew word for men. But this is actually translated from the word gabar, which means warrior. So what this is actually saying is, a woman shall not wear what pertains to a warrior. So you ever seen that old Disney movie Mulan?
Yeah.
Where the Chinese girl dressed up like, she was cross-dressing, but she was trying to be like a warrior. That's what our women are not supposed to do.
That's right.
We don't have no Mulans or Xena warrior princesses in our nation. We protect our women. We don't put our women out in the battlefield. Right? The same way we wouldn't put our children out there. You're to be protected and treasured and cherished, right? We don't want you in harm's way. But yeah, get the fringes, but let him finish that up.
Deuteronomy 22:5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment.
So the men of Israel, we're supposed to be austere men. We're not supposed to be effeminate, and we're not supposed to put on a woman's garment. That is plain and exact. What pertains to you,
society's doing on.
What pertains to you does not pertain to me. I can't wear your clothes, right? Now, if I mean, okay, let's say a modern example of that would be like women in the military or women like police officers, SWAT out, like they got the cargos with the combat boots and the bulletproof vests and the AR-15. Our women are not supposed to be doing that. If Esau want to put his women out in the battlefield, let them. You know, if they want to get blown up, I don't care. I care about my people. I care about you. That's right. All right? So, and we care about you guys too. All right? Is that it on that?
For all that do so are an abomination unto the Lord thy God.
So all that do so are an abomination. So all these transgenders and cross-dressers, that's all abomination. The same thing with Mulan. Mulan wasn't one of us. That was a Moabite. But if one of our sisters had done that, that'd be considered an abomination. Go ahead and get those fringes.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 15, verse 38. Speak unto the children of Israel.
So speak unto the children of Israel. That's all Israelites. Read on.
And bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments.
So that's men, women, and children of Israel. Children of Israel.
Throughout their generations.
Throughout their generations. So back then, all the way up to now, and into the future. Keep going.
And that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue.
Put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue. So the ribbon of blue, the ribbon of blue.
Y'all made it on purpose, right? Y'all didn't, you didn't buy that. Y'all had them made right there. Right.
That would
I
be
seen some woman with that on. Israelites.
Do we cut our hair all day, every day, or is it only during
That's a
the
choice.
Sabbath? Or
That's a choice. Get the you got it? Praying and prophesying? I was there, we're supposed to rest. I want to answer her question about the head cover. Watch this. You got it? All right, right now.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 3. But I would have you know that the head... Actually, let me start. I'll start at verse 5. But every woman that prayeth or prophesies with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head.
So if you're praying or you're prophesying, you should have your head covered. Read on.
For that is even all one as if she were shaven.
So if you were to pray or prophesy without your head covered, it's saying you might as well have a shaved head, which would be considered a shame in Israel for a woman to have a shaved head.
For if the woman be not covered, let her also be shorn.
Be shorn. Right, read on.
But if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered.
Let her be covered, right?
That's by being stoned. That's stoned.
Brothers. It's not all day, every day. Now, if you have a husband, sister? Okay, if you had a husband, she just told me she ain't got no husband, brother. Don't do that. Okay, you're a husband. That's fine. So, if you had a husband and he told you he wanted you to have your head covered at all times, the fact that the Bible says that you have to be subject to your husband, that would be because he said it, then you would have to do it. But you don't have a husband, so there's nobody to tell you that. The Bible doesn't tell you that. So you don't have to have your head covered all the time. If you want to let your hair out, you can let your hair out.
Let it rock. Oh, shit.
Just when they pray and prophesy.
yes, about biracial babies.
Biracial babies?
Yeah.
tried to save everybody, but it was
my niece, mother is black.
Oh, you're talking about with the child being Gentile. Okay. Okay, well, if her father is a white man, then she would also be with her father.
But Gentiles also have a place in heaven, right?
Everybody has a place somewhere on the earth, but I mean, I can't lie to you, sister. It would be a sin if I did.
Because they said to get in by faith, right? If we get in by faith and follow the law.
You're talking about what it's talking about, what the Gentiles, what like Paul was talking about?
Yeah.
Paul was talking to Israelites that had lost their way. Because when we go off into idolatry, and we go off into living like brother, please. If you're not going to stay quiet, then I'm going to have to ask you. Please. No. You just said you're going to be quiet, and then you did it again, brother. All right. So, James 2:14. Galatians 4:4. What you got?
James 2:14.
This is Galatians 4:4. But when the fullness of the time was come, God sent forth his Son, made of a woman, made under the law, to redeem them that were under the law.
So those who are going to be redeemed are the ones that are under the law. The people that are under the law are Israelites.
That's right.
What do you got?
And you're the woman.
Book of James, chapter 2, verse 14. What doeth it profit, my brethren, though through a man saith he hath faith, and have not works? Can faith save him?
So yeah, you're not saved by faith alone, right? And as far as salvation is concerned, Romans 9:5, you give me Jeremiah 3:20. 9:5.
This is Romans 9:5. Whose are the fathers?
Matter of fact, start from 3.
This is Romans 9:3. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ.
So he said he wished that he could be a person of Christ. Hold on.
For my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh,
Hold on.
who are Israelites,
Paul said who are Israelites. Go on.
to whom pertaineth the adoption.
So the adoption pertains to Israelites. That's what we're seeking through Yahushua's sacrifice.
That's right.
Read on.
And the glory, and the covenants.
The glory is us being glorified in the kingdom, and the covenants meaning the old and new covenant.
That's right.
How you doing, brother?
And the giving of the law.
And the giving of the law. So the law was only given to the Israelites. Read on.
And the service of God.
And the service of God, which you see him right now, preaching the word. Go on.
And the promises.
And the promises. So all the promises that pertain to Israel only pertain to Israel. You got that?
Basically, Israelites.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 3, verse 23. Truly in vain is salvation hoped for from the hills and from the multitude of mountains.
So the hills and the multitude of mountains are representative of other nations. So here the prophet Jeremiah is saying is truly in vain is salvation hopeful from all these other people. Because the Most High God is only dealing with Israel. Now as far as Israelites. So as far as like what you might, like what that means for right now in your dealings with your niece or any other relative that may not be of Israelite stock. Because there are people in my family that are not Israelites too. But that doesn't mean that we mistreat them. You know, I mean, how old is your niece, if you don't mind me asking?
She's 2.
She's 2. Yeah, I mean, look, she's 2. She didn't do anything to anybody. I'm sure she loves you a great deal. You know, I know a sister who, I don't remember how old, I think she's 9 years old, right? She got a 9-year-old girl who's Edomite. And she's got like a 7 or 8-year-old boy who's an Israelite, right? So whenever I see them all together. I'm not gonna say, oh, what's up, little man, and then push the girl down. I mean, that's just, there's no reason to be, we can be peaceful. You know what I'm saying? So the same way that you love your niece, you still love your niece, right? Just, sometimes these things can be kind of hard to pills to swallow. My grandmother on my mother's side, her father was an Edomite, right? father is near. But being that you are what your father is, he is an Israelite by his father. By his mother being an Edomite, there's nothing you can do. He loves his mom. A lot of people think he hates his mom. It's something got taken out of context and people blasted that all over the internet talking about, something about him saying something bad about his mom. He wasn't saying nothing bad about his mom. But he also understands that just because he loves his mom doesn't mean that that's going to get her inheritance in the kingdom. Are these people going to be in our kingdom? Yes. But we are going to be the ones that inherit. We're going to take all these other nations and they're going to be beneath us. Just like we're beneath them right now. But does that mean that every white person that walks past you is going to spit on you and push you down? No. But systematically they do. But not every individual is just that callous and harsh. So you don't have to be that callous and harsh. I'm not going to be that callous and harsh. Just an individual minding their own business. White people walk past us all day. We don't touch them.
Hey, read a passage for Bill
Another question that I have, the biggest deception that I get, and I never, when a discount hit me with this, I have nothing to say. They say that the Old Testament is done away with.
They say that, right? We already got. Yeah, you can bring that up. Finish this up.
This is Romans 12 and 18. If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men.
So if it is possible, live peaceably with all men, right?
That's why we're here, right?
So give me John 5 and 46. I need the I one jot or two. Got that? Yeah. Let me finish it. Yes, get started.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 17.
Yahushua's words, right?
Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
So he said he didn't come to destroy the law or the prophets, which is what we call the Old Testament, or what people will call the Old Testament. He has not come to destroy, but to fulfill, because there are prophecies written about him that he has to carry out. So he's not doing away with the law. Read on.
For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law.
So we're standing on earth right now. The heavens are still above us. So no part of the law is going to go away. Every bit of it still stands. Is that it?
Till all be fulfilled.
Right? You got that? John 5, 14.
What book is that? Sorry.
That one? That was Matthew 5 and
17.
16.
This is John 5 and 46. For had ye believed Moses, ye would have believed me.
So had ye believed Moses, you would have believed me. I grew up in the Christian church. They always told me the Old Testament was done away with. They said, don't even read it. They don't believe it. They don't believe in Moses. But if they had believed Moses, they would have believed Hamashiach Yahushua, who the world calls Jesus Christ.
For he wrote of me.
For he wrote of me. That's how we even know that he is somebody we're supposed to listen to.
That's right.
Because if somebody was just to come along and say, hey, you know what? All this stuff that you've been doing, you got to throw it all away. But he was prophesying to me, and he didn't say we got to throw it away. He was showing us the right way to do it. So this whole notion that the Old Testament is done away with is blasphemy.
Verse 47. But if ye believe not his writings, how shall ye believe my words?
So if you don't believe the writings of Moses, you couldn't possibly believe the words of Christ, because the words he's speaking are spirit of truth. He's speaking the Torah. You got something? What's that? You got something? Okay. Does that answer the question, sis?
Yes. And then another thing is that the Gentile will tell us that we're all created equal. So just to have something to say back to them.
Oh, yeah.
I was cut off guard.
Absolutely.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God.
The word holy in Hebrew is the word Hadash, meaning separate, right? So we are separate people to the Lord, same as everybody else, but a special people
unto himself,
above
all people that are upon the face of the earth.
No, does that say equal to everybody?
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Well, what about white supremacy? They're over.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So we are above all people upon the face of the earth.
That's right.
There's no such thing as white supremacy is a myth.
That's right.
There's Israelite supremacy. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the greatest people on the planet Earth.
That's right.
That's right.
See?
We are the children of the Israelites.
Yeah, skip that.
Where is that found in?
Nah, you can start from here. Just start from here and then read that one too.
This is the book of Ezra, chapter.
Exactly.
This is 2nd Ezra 6 and 55. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes.
So he made the world for our sakes. Read on.
As for the other people which also come of Adam.
As for the other people which also come of Adam, because they're going to say, well, we all come from Adam, so we're all the same. As for the other people that come from Adam, go on.
Thou hast said that they are nothing.
That they are nothing. But what?
But be like unto spittle.
But be like unto spittle. So if you were to spit on the ground, that's how he sees it, right?
Right. And has likened them, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel.
So if you were carrying a bucket full of water and one drop fell out, you're not going to miss that drop. You still got a bucket full of water.
That's right.
You see? And that's how he looks at us. It's the bucket full of water versus the drop that fell off.
That's right.
That's the other people. Got it?
This is Isaiah chapter 40, verse 15. Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket and are counted as the small dust of a balance.
So they're counted as a small dust. Like if you had a scale and there was a tiny little dust on there, it doesn't count for anything. Scales. Read on.
Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing.
He takes up the isles as a very little thing. Read on.
And Lebanon is not sufficient to burn.
Lebanon's not even sufficient to be fuel for us. Not even sufficient to burn. Read on.
Nor the beasts thereof sufficient for a burnt offering. All nations before him are as nothing.
All nations, all these other nations are as nothing.
And they are counted to him less than nothing and vanity.
Less than nothing and vanity. So there is no equality in the Bible. There's no equality in the Bible. We are above everybody else on the face of the earth. I mean, the tribes within our nation are equal to one another, but our nation is above everybody else.
This is Daniel chapter 4, verse 35. And all the inhabitants of the earth are reputed as nothing. And he doeth according to his will in the army of heaven and among the inhabitants of the earth. And none can stay his hand or say unto him, what doest thou?
See, and none can stay his hand or say to him, what doest thou? Staying his hand would be like, you know,
Talk to me that way.
If one of these brothers tried to punch the other one and I grabbed his hand, like, no, don't do that. Nobody can do that to the Most High God. If the Most High God wants to mess somebody up, they're just going to get messed up. That's all the rest of it. Not you. I'm not saying you don't mess up. You would have been wrong, right? I would try to stop it. I don't want y'all to hurt each other. We all one. We all one people. You know, and I love you and I love him. Yes, we all Israel. Yeah, he wrote them to Israel. Nah, that's pretty good. Do you have any other questions? That's okay.
Do you guys come here every day?
Do you, if you don't mind me asking, do you like study or learn with GLCC? You had mentioned them earlier. Yeah, I had no idea. They teach that the name is Ahaya, right?
Yeah.
I want to show you something about Ahaya. Right? You know where I want. Exodus 3.
What church you go to? It's hot church.
Go straight to where they go. 15. I think it's 15. Where it says I am that I am.
It's confirmation for you.
This is the book of Exodus,
Oh, for real?
chapter 3, verse 14.
Yashua.
And God said unto Moses, I am that I am.
This is where they go to talk about Ahaya, right? Go ahead.
And he said, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of
Well,
Israel.
hold on, stop right there, right? Because they'll go here and they'll say, see, God said out of the burning bush to Moses, my name is I am that I am. Ahaya, Ashar,
I am.
Ahaya, Ashar, Ahaya, right? We're going to read up. Go to verse 2. Because that's all the way in verse 14.
Verse 2. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him.
The who appeared unto him?
The angel of the Lord.
The angel of the Lord appeared unto him. How?
In a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush.
So who Moses was talking to in this burning bush was an angel of the Lord, not the Most High himself.
That's right.
And as a matter of fact, when we look at this in the Hebrew, it says angel of the Lord. That's angel of Yahweh.
That's right.
It says Yahweh right there in the Hebrew. So the angel. All right, brothers. Hold on. Y'all kind of distracted me a little bit. I'm trying to bring this up. You go ahead and listen though. So an angel of Yahweh is who appeared to Moses in the burning bush. So when Moses says, "Who are you?" the angel said, "I am that I am." But moreover, read 15. Read verse 15.
I am the Omega.
Verse 15. And God said, moreover unto Moses,
Moreover unto Moses, I'm going to say this next.
Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel,
This is what you will say to the children of Israel. Read on.
the Lord God of our fathers.
The Lord God of our fathers. The word Lord there again is Yahweh. Yahweh of our fathers.
The God of Abraham,
God of Abraham.
the God of Isaac,
God of Isaac.
and the God of Jacob.
The God of Jacob. Who's the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? Yahweh.
That's right. Have sent me unto you.
Has sent me unto you. So if I am a messenger for my brother here, Yatazakak, right? And you say, well, who are you? And who should I say you are that told me this message? And I go, you know what? I am that I am. But tell them Yatazakak sent you. All right? Because the message coming from him, I'm just the one relaying it to you.
That's right.
All right? Now, you know what I need? We just read it the other day. Before Abraham was Finish that out.
This is my name forever, and this is my memorial unto all generations.
So that's his name forever and his memorial unto all generations. It's his name Yahweh.
Because we all one.
Not
right? We're all one.
And I want to John 8 and 58.
This is John chapter 8, verse 58.
Read out.
Jesus said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, before Abraham was, I am.
Before Abraham was, I am. So he's referring to himself. That's who Moses was dealing with in the burning bush. Because we read about it, especially with Paul, he talks about how Mashiach Yahushai. Hold on, brother. Hold on, brother. Hold on, brother. Hold on. Hold on, brother. Hold on. That the rock that was with us in the wilderness, the one that was dealing with Moses, was who we call Jesus Christ, his real name, Yahushai. So that's who he first met him out of the flame of the fire in the burning bush. Right? Yes, I need that.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 18. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren.
So he said he's going to raise us up a prophet from among our brethren.
Like unto thee.
Like unto thee, like unto who? Is like unto Moses. So this prophet is going to be like Moses. You know?
And will put my words in his mouth.
And put my words in his mouth, meaning all the words of the Torah, all the words of God. He's going to be the literal embodiment of the word of God. That's why we call him the word. You know?
And and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him.
Right? So he's going to tell us all what we needed to know. You know?
And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require of him.
So he's going to require of him. Now I'm gonna show you just to be practical, right? We about to leave in a minute actually. The word ahaya means I am, right? Now I saw a post on Instagram. I don't know if you're on Instagram, but I saw a post on Instagram and it said I am in big letters, and on the bottom it said the God of Israel, right?
That's Lahai.
Oh, sorry, I said ahaya. The God of Israel. So what that literally translated to is I am the God of Israel. I'm not the God of Israel. So I don't have no business saying that.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Now the word Yahweh. Yo, brothers. Okay. Honestly, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to ask y'all. Come on, chill out. Just keep it down. Just keep it down. The word Yahweh, when you break it down phonetically in the Hebrew, the prefix Yah means he.
I am.
Hawa means to exist or to be. So his name literally means he exists, which is a perfect explanation of him because he is the existent one. He's never been created.
That's right.
He's the only thing that ever always was and always will be. Everything else had a beginning, right? Ahaya just means I am. If I say Ahaya Ayatan, I'm telling you my name is Ayatan, all right? That's different. That's
Lahai.
not Lahayim, that's a different word. What you got? That's not here? Yes. That's the God.
This is Psalms chapter 68, verse 4. Sing unto God, sing praises to his name. Extol him that rideth upon the heavens by his name Yah.
By his name what?
Yah.
Yah.
By his name Yah.
Yah.
Not Ahaya.
Not Lahai.
Go read on.
And rejoice before him.
And rejoice before him. We have to extol his name. He wants us to say the name. And when we read the Bible, all throughout the Bible, we're seeing in the Hebrew now, we're seeing Yahweh all over the place in the Bible. We're not seeing Ahaya everywhere because it wouldn't make sense for it to be everywhere.
That's right.
It's Ahaya. Ahaya means I am. We see that in Exodus 3, but it makes perfect sense then. We see it in John 5, because it makes perfect sense then. Yahweh Shire, who the world calls Jesus Christ, or who GOCC calls Yeshaya, which is really Isaiah's name. He's telling them that he's the one that was walking with Abraham. He's the one that was dealing with Abraham. He's the one that was dealing with Moses. Because they said to him, Moses has been dead a long time. You're not but 30 years old. And you were with Abraham? And you said, verily, verily, before Abraham was, I am. And they picked up stones to stone him because they thought that he was blaspheming. But he wasn't blaspheming. Because he's not claiming to be the Most High God. He's claiming to be the angel of the Lord, like it said in Exodus 3 and 2. And that's exactly who he was. Yes. No, that's a regular one. Yeah, that's the 1700s edition. I have if you ever heard of the Hebrew Scriptures, there's a Bible version that's called the Hebrew Scriptures. I don't have it with me. I should be bringing it out. The name of the Most High God, it just shows it in Hebrew. It doesn't give you a pronunciation for it. Like on my shirt, you see the name right there? Yahweh. It just shows it just like this. Like it'll be English words and then it'll be this. And they do the same thing for Yahweh. They don't put his actual name in like how it would be rendered in Latin letters. They put his actual name as it appears in the ancient Hebrew. That way, it kind of alleviates a lot of the discrepancies between how you pronounce it. Some people say Yahuwah, some people say, these different things. But at the root of it all, Yahweh is how you say his name.
What is Nasiya?
Huh?
What's Nasiya?
That's how you say
Nasiya
Yeah.
means my banner. Get Deuteronomy, Exodus 17:15. What's that? Yeah, you can show it. So I don't know if you've ever heard of the camp that we're a part of. We're known as the Sakari. The original name for our camp is actually Exodus 17:15. And this is why.
So the book of Exodus, chapter 17, verse 15. And Moses built an altar and called the name of it.
In English, it says Jehovah Nissi. Right?
Called the name of it Jehovah Nissi.
Now, it renders that in English as Jehovah Nissi. But when you look at it in the Hebrew, Yahweh Nasiyah. He called this place Yahweh Nasiyah because it means Yahweh is my banner. So when the leader of our organization decided that, you know, he's going to start his own thing and he needed a name for it, he said, what better banner to have than the Most High God? So rather than call ourselves, you know, whatever cool sounding name you can think of, because there's a lot of camps out there with the names like, yo, that sounds good. I like how that sounds, you know. But just as far as being humble and getting straight to the point, we called it Yahweh Nasiyah because Yahweh is our banner. So that's where that comes from.
Okay, and another thing, because the Most High described the church as harlots, like a place full of harlots.
Oh, okay.
So,
What's a harlot?
A harlot is a
harlot, it's a
Right.
whore. Okay, so a church full of prostitutes. Okay, that's cool.
GOCC has a church, and so I'm just confused about this all.
Well, I don't
like,
want,
are we supposed to go?
I don't want to speak bad on the look, we definitely have some disagreements with GOCC.
Yeah.
But those are still our brothers. Well, at least the Israelites in the congregation. I understand that they allow Edomites in the Passover and all that stuff. We're not talking about them. But, you know, like the elder, what's the cause, his name, right? I don't know him personally, but that's my brother, right? I disagree with a lot of things he teaches, but I still love him. So I'm not going to speak, you know, nothing ill about him. And I'm not going to say that he's necessarily, you know, like the leader of harlots or anything like that. But, what you got? It's more about the people in the temple itself, though. I know what you're talking about.
The reason why,
Every Wednesday, brother, come see us. You got our info too, right? Yep. Call either one, man. Yeah, my number is his number.
I would like to shake my hand, but you gave me that thing.
Alright, no problem.
My hand's dirty, you know.
That's all good, bro.
It's all good. I'm gonna try to too. Shalom.
Shalom. Means peace.
Peace. Shalom.
Shalom.
Okay, is that in Muslim too?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's true. It's whatever it means. Yah, whatever. Instead of Yahweh.
Yahweh. But sorry, what was your question?
yeah, the reason why I asked is because when explaining this to the Gentiles who try to invite me into their church, like
Now you can get third Gentiles. Gentiles are not Israelites.
yeah, and they try to invite me to their church, but I say that, you know, the church is a place for harlots, and then I explain to them that I go to another church. It's gotta, you know.
No, I
So I'm
understand.
trying to
See, what we have to understand is what the church actually is. We're in church right now.
Yeah.
This is church. We're 2 or 3 are gathered in His name. He's there also.
I'm gonna be here.
So the body of people is what makes up the church, not the building. So read that.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 7, verse 48. Howbeit, the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands.
So He doesn't dwell in temples made with hands. It's not about the biggest, tallest building with the biggest, you know, idol cross on top of it. You know.
As saith the prophet, heaven is my throne, and earth is my footstool. What house will ye build me?
So we can't. There's no house we can build for Him.
That's right.
We are the temple of the Most High God. His Spirit dwells in us.
Oh shit, that is fucking the truth, dude.
Right?
That is the truth, because you know what? Our bodies is a temple, one in itself, because that's how we speak.
Saith the Lord, or what is the place of my rest?
Right, so read that.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? If any man defileth the temple of God, him shall God destroy. For the temple of God is holy, which temple ye are.
So which temple ye are? So the Spirit of God dwells in you. So it's not about like, oh, come on down to my church and all this stuff. they don't have the spirit over there because they're not doing what God said to do.
That's right.
And it says that if you defile your temple, God's going to destroy you. And then they out there eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster and all that. They're going to get destroyed.
That's right. Corinthians chapter